Friday. But not only is it Prediction Friday, we got a laundry list of updates to get through in regards to practice reports, game statuses. We got a Trey Lance update. We got a Jimmy Garoppolo update. We got all kinds of stuff to get to. So sit down, grab a snack, maybe a drink, a beverage, and enjoy as we get through Prediction Friday right now. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. I said get a snack. I'm eating a snack as well. As you can see, I'm getting more and more comfortable on stream to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm hungry. I'm ready to eat. We can all eat together because those are the vibes that we have going. Hope you guys are having a great Friday. It's been definitely a wild week. So, obviously, for a lot of different reasons. But of course, Damar Hamlin, dude. What a miracle that has turned out to be. He's sounds like neurologically good to go. So that situation obviously started early off in the week, kind of put the NFL world at a bit of a standstill. So now that Damar's doing well and amazingly well, we can kind of also take a deep sigh of relief. And, hey, man, power of prayer, power of good energy clearly feels like it worked. And of course, the quick, swift action of the medical professionals for the Buffalo Bills made sure that is something that is positive up until this point. So I feel like we can kind of take a deep sigh of relief as well. And we can get back to talking about 49ers football and close out this year on a good note. Because as we know, the Arizona Cardinals are coming to town and would love to destroy them. But as you guys know, if you were here for Prediction Friday last week, Prediction Friday was we predicted a blowout. Just an absolute blowout of the Raiders. That did not occur. If anyone missed the game, you would know that by now. So it'll be interesting to see what our predictions look like this week. But we'll get to our predictions in a second. Let's get into our laundry list of practice updates from this week. There's been a lot of updates, a lot of back and forth, a lot of this player out, now he's back, now this player's out. There's an illness floating through the locker room at this point. So that is something that we have to be aware of because, as we know, that could just keep spreading, and it's kind of it feels like there's a bug going around in the locker room, and it's kind of hopping. So far, feels like on the defensive side. Hopefully, the offensive side is able to avoid it, but we are going to find out. Luke, the Don says, "Where can I get that hat?" This is actually a 49ers equipment staff special. So I actually don't believe there are any more of these that are in rotation. I got this from Robert Lloyd. He is one of the equipment guys over there with the San Francisco 49ers. He had only had a couple left, and I was able to get my hands on this one. But, it's a fire hat. You got the old school logo. Um, so I don't think there are any more for sale, unfortunately. It was definitely a small drop, and it was for uh the 49ers staff, and I was able to get my hands on one. Um, but it's a fantastic hat. I do have an announcement coming up, new sponsorship for the brand. So I mean the sponsorship covers YouTube, DSF Niners in general. So we got another sponsor to add to the list. So I haven't announced it anywhere yet. You guys will be the first to hear who our new sponsor is, and of course how that can benefit you guys. If hey, you guys talking about wanting some gear, well, stay tuned. We'll be able to pass along some discounts to you guys as well. Um, but we'll get into that after our updates. I want to get through the updates because we have so much to cover, and then we'll get into our new sponsor here in a little bit. But let's pull up the laundry list of updates that we got going because boy, there's a lot of them. So let's start at the top. Oh, don't remove me. So both Debo Samuel and Elijah Mitchell have been cleared to play. They are off the injury report. So the return of Debo, here comes Debo. Debo Samuel will be back in action. And I believe Debo Samuel will play this weekend. How much will he play? That's going to be the question that we all have. We don't know what the availability is going to be like for everyone just because 49ers need to win this game in the case that the 1 seed becomes available. So they need the W, but they also need their health moving into what is going to be the tournament or the big dance, as some may say. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Debo Samuel. I do imagine Debo plays because let's face it, Debo Samuel hasn't played since December 11th when we were all terrified beyond belief that Debo Samuel was going to be out for the entirety of the year. All the reports indicated that if it really was a dire situation, it did sound like Debo could have returned week 16. So I believe they've been extra cautious in regards to Debo, allowing him to get to full speed. So the Debo that we're going to see against the Cardinals is going to be a 100% Debo. So that's great news. And the reason why I think I'm okay with Debo playing at least a little bit, and you guys can let me know in the chat. Do you want Debo Samuel to play? Do you want the 49ers to rest him? Well, like, do you want him to get like a 20-30% snap share? Let me know what you're thinking in the chat, and I'll let you know what I'm thinking. I'm okay with Debo Samuel getting anywhere from a 30 to 50% snap share. Do I want Debo Samuel running up the middle? Do I want Debo Samuel running the football in general? Not necessarily, but I also wouldn't mind getting Debo Samuel back out onto the field and again, just knocking off some of the rust, getting back into the groove of things after he has been out for what? Uh, a month. So, there is a conditioning aspect to it as well. So maybe get the heart rate up in a game time situation and just kind of get that feeling back and that flow back and just remind yourself like what it feels like to take a hit again. And that's kind of what I'm okay with. I don't want to see Debo Samuel full workload. I don't want to see Debo Samuel runs up the middle. I don't want to see none of that. Um, so I'm okay personally with Debo Samuel being used sparingly. I welcome it. I think, a rust factor and getting back into that game day groove, there's some benefit to that. Obviously, we're trying to mitigate injuries as much as possible. So, obviously, be careful with that. But I'm okay with Debo Samuel getting a couple reps. I'm okay with him running routes and doing that type of stuff. Don't necessarily want to see the wide back Debo Samuel, but we'll see how Kyle Shanahan manage this situation moving forward. Um, and the other positive news is that we're going to be getting Elijah Mitchell back. I don't think we've seen Elijah Mitchell since do I want to say week 11, week 12 since we've seen Elijah Mitchell. We got him back. He had a big role against the Chargers week 10. Can't remember how much he played if he played week 11 against the Cardinals. I do think he played against the Cardinals. That might have been the game. Oh no, he got injured against the Saints. Yeah, he got injured against the Saints. That's right. So we haven't seen Elijah Mitchell since November 27th. So that is a guy that I think we want to get out on the field, knock the rust off. Doesn't need a full workload, but also the 49ers. How wild is this, guys? The San Francisco 49ers are heading into the last game of the season with all 4 of their top running backs healthy. When in the Kyle Shanahan era have we ever seen that? Like all 4 first string, second string, third string, fourth string practice squad running back are all healthy going into the last game of the season. I mean, it's phenomenal. Like, I think we've been so conditioned to just injury after injury at the running back position. Like, we're like so used to being on like our 5th or 7th string running back that we're like, wait a second. We're on our first, we still have our first, second, third, fourth, and practice squad guy available. What in the world? So that is a great development to get Elijah Mitchell back. And we do know that Christian McCaffrey did pop up on the injury report this week with a slight ankle. Didn't practice on Wednesday, was available for individuals on Thursday, left for the team period, but did practice in full today. So to me, that just felt like a maintenance type schedule that the 49ers implemented for Christian McCaffrey. So I don't think Christian McCaffrey's, mild ankle sprain. I bet half the players on the 49ers right now have mild ankle sprains. So I don't think that's too much of a concern. So great news for the 49ers heading into this game. Again, I think the biggest thing that we're going to be looking out for is how do they manage these guys? How do they like what? Because you don't want to go half speed when you're on the field. That's a invitation for an injury, but how much do you want to play them? So I think that's what we're going to be kind of watching for is how, who, and all the rest. Someone said, "What's up with Greenlaw?" So we'll move on to the next portion of the updates for the injury report and status updates for the 49ers. Dre Greenlaw is out. However, I believe it was Mike Silver who asked Kyle Shanahan the question, if this was a playoff game, do you believe Dre Greenlaw would be able to play? Kyle kind of trying to sidestep it as much as he could, said, well, if that were to happen, Dre Greenlaw would have, needed a lot more practice reps this week. But all things considered, probably if Dre Greenlaw needed to go and this was a must-win game, Dre Greenlaw probably could have went. So again, another good sign. Dre Greenlaw, again, exited the Raiders game with a back injury, did not return. MRI results came back negative. There's no issues with the injury that he sustained. And again, Kyle said essentially, if it was a must-win type situation, Dre Greenlaw probably plays this game. So again, there's some load management for you. I don't think that's too much of a concern. And again, another injury that occurred against the Raiders was Aaron Banks, who was dealing with a knee ankle he got rolled up on. It was reported that he was off working to the side this week in practice, which again is a good sign that he's able to move around and do all that type of stuff. So Aaron Banks feels like he'll be out this game, but will have an opportunity to return for the playoffs. And all things considered, knowing that Daniel Brunskill is going to slide into that left guard spot, I think we all feel pretty darn comfortable with the offensive line at this particular stage with Brunskill there or with Banks there. I mean, the 49ers probably have the best six-man offensive lineman in the NFL. And I don't think that's up for debate because he's a starter. He's a clear-cut starting caliber offensive lineman. They just have six starting caliber offensive linemen. So that makes him as the, you know, not technically a starter, that makes him the best six-man offensive lineman in the NFL. So, hey, good to have. Good problems to have, at least in regards to that. And of course, with Dre Greenlaw, we know Aziz Al-Shaair is going to step in. We know Oren Burks is going to step in. You have Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles who will be able to step in. So these injuries to Aaron Banks and Dre Greenlaw and them being out against the Cardinals, not a big deal. We have adequate replacements, and this gives them time to get healthy for the playoffs. Matt Barrows just tweeted, he said retweet, which was interesting. The 49ers have no plans as of right now to activate Kalia Davis off the NFI. He was the scout team player of the week, but we do know that there were some other roster moves. The 49ers brought back Akeem Spence to the practice squad, who they had recently waived earlier in the week. So Akeem Spence comes back to the practice squad. They've gotten phenomenal contributions from T.Y. McGill and Mike Dumfor. So they've been doing pretty good as of right now. So their D-line, interior defense, their D. Excuse me, I just had a mild stroke. So their interior defensive line depth went from being bleak to now a bit robust because you get Eric Armstead back, you get Javon Kinlaw back, T.Y. McGill turns out to be a really nice addition. Kevin Givens is out, I believe. Yes, Kevin Givens is out for this game with a knee, but it was reported a couple weeks ago that Kevin Givens will be back for the playoffs. So I think they're on pace there with Kevin Givens as well. So good sign for the 49ers defensive line. And all that good stuff. Let's see. Let's get through the injury updates or the status updates. Ambry Thomas will be out with an ankle. I mean, Ambry Thomas has been absolutely he's been a ghost this year. I'm not sure we've seen Ambry Thomas take like more than a handful of reps on defense. I haven't heard his name called on special teams. I mean, Ambry Thomas has been nowhere to be found. Deommodore Lenoir has clearly overtaken him in his position as of right now. So no Ambry Thomas walking through that door. Questionable is Eric Armstead and Javon Kinlaw, both dealing with illness. So not the end of the world there, right? So that's pretty much that. We also got an update on Jimmy Garoppolo. So let's pull the chat here a little bit. Um, so Kyle Shanahan does believe that Jimmy Garoppolo is on pace to return for a potential deep playoff run. Jimmy Garoppolo is out of his cast. He's out of the walking boot. He can put weight on his foot. That's about as far as they would go in regards to what Jimmy's doing at this point. But if Jimmy Garoppolo comes back and let's say divisional rounds cleared to play, are you putting Jimmy Garoppolo in as the starter over Brock Purdy? That means at that point, Brock Purdy has now won a playoff game. Or are you rocking? Are you brocking the rest of the year with BCB? Which one is it? Drop it in the chat. So far, I think we are all in agreement here so far. CL says no. No, no, no. Please don't, says Charlene. Joshua says, nah, Jimmy should be quarterback too. Aloha Smitty says Jimmy needs to stay on the bench and let Brock cook. No, BCB all day. No way. No, no way. No way. Ride the hot hand. Nope. So you're seeing it. I think we're all in agreement here. And let's face it, talk about a hell of a backup. Hell of a backup. As much as I love Jimmy, it's Purdy all the way. That's what I'm saying. You could be the biggest Jimmy fan, even if you're the biggest Jimmy, you root for Jimmy, you want Jimmy to be success, like you cannot discount and ignore what Brock Purdy is doing right now. Like Brock Purdy he has played the best football from a 49ers quarterback since Kyle Shanahan has taken over. And that includes the magical ride that Jimmy Garoppolo took us on at the end of 2017 with a bunch of scout teamers. It was a very admirable, and he put the team on his back and he played crazy. But Brock is playing equally as crazy, but he's also creating crazy. Like he is doing it, I believe, at a higher level um, than what Jimmy is doing. And it looks like we're all on the same page. We're all on the same page. Just had to make sure. I don't think we've really asked this as of late, especially since the way Brock has been playing. So we're all on the same page. Look at that. That's a rarity. Again, look at us. Look at us, guys. We're on the same page about the quarterback. Well, when does that ever happen? Tell me in the history of the San Francisco 49ers, when the hell are we all on the same page about the 49ers quarterback position? Huh? We are living in the twilight zone. This is unprecedented territory. That's how good Brock is playing. Again, that is how good Brock is playing to the point that we all agree. And I guarantee you, we have Jimmy fans, Trey fans. Those lines are erased due to Brock Purdy. Unbelievable. And it's for good reason. He's playing at a really good level. So I think we're all in agreement there. No real surprise. But does sound like that is a great consolation prize for the backup position heading into the playoffs. I mean, I'll take it any day of the week. Uh, and knocking on wood. No, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna put that energy into the ethos. Not gonna say it. Not gonna say it at all. So not today. Not today. I'm not even gonna say it. I thought it, not gonna say it. Um Also, we got an pretty extensive update from Kyle Shanahan on Trey Lance. So it does sound like Trey Lance's ankle healed well, really well, in fact, according to Kyle Shanahan. And the second surgery, definitely, at least the way Kyle explained it, doesn't sound like a big deal. Sounds, somewhat par for the course. Obviously there was some irritation going on, but the main key thing, and I think what Kyle said, is that it healed. So that's good. So the bone healed and they just removed the plate apparently, or the hardware, whatever, um, to be able to ensure that there's not any additional irritation going on. So good news, I guess. Still sounds like Trey Lance should be on par for OTAs. So we'll see. And again, it's not the time of the year to discuss 2023 starting quarterback. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to have about 6 months to be able to talk about the quarterback position until we're blue in the face. So why get ahead of ourselves? We're not going to cross that bridge just yet. Um, but at least it does sound like Trey Lance will be available um, coming up here in OTAs. So that is a good sign. I mean, we just had so many updates today in the last couple days, but I think we've caught up. We've covered most of them. I don't think there's any surprise with the report that came out from Jordan Schultz today that D'Amico Ryans will be one of the most highly coveted head coach candidates coming into this offseason. I think it's crystal clear. This is literally no surprise um, for 49er fans that, D'Amico Ryans should be, I believe, at the top of the list. I mean, they're talking about Jim Harbaugh coming back. I would take D'Amico Ryans over Jim Harbaugh. Like, at least, like, with Jim Harbaugh, you kind of know what you're going to get. I mean, he does have, I mean, Jim Harbaugh is Jim Harbaugh, and, like, I think 49er fans will always have some love for Jim. Um, but I think there's this D'Amico is legit. Um, Not only is he a legit, like, you can hear him the way he communicates at the podium, but like, he's played the position. He knows what it takes. He is a former player. And he has clearly proven he can coach, and not only coach, but develop players. I mean, you just look at his linebacking room and look what he's been able to do, going from a linebacker coach to defensive coordinator. Fred Warner, third round pick, Dre Greenlaw, fifth round pick, Aziz Al-Shaair, undrafted free agent. Um, he clearly knows how to develop guys. So not a big surprise here. Did you guys hear the rumor about Mike McDaniel getting fired? That would be insane, in my opinion. Now, the if Mike McDaniel gets fired, I would imagine it has more to do with, like, the crazy concussion stuff that they've been dealing with Tua. Like, I would say, like, if he's gonna get fired, it would be more for that. I don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Like, clearly, there has been some weird, like, unfortunate circumstances with Tua's, concussions, but, like, the weird ramifications like, it's been a weird year. And then, of course, the 49ers broke the Dolphins after week 13. So it's been a weird year, but they would be wild. Even Jason, even losing 5 straight, in my opinion. I mean, who's their quarterback last week? Teddy Bridgewater. They've played like Skylar Thompson, like I think one time too since week there. I don't know. I could be misspeaking, but I don't know. It just feels premature. I would give him at least one more year from the outside perspective. Clearly, not inside the building, and that's going to really carry a completely different set of circumstances. But outside perception, even with the 5-game losing streak, feel like you got to give him one more year. But man, I would imagine he gets another head coaching job too if he were to get fired. And if he doesn't, come on back, come on down. Can he be a defensive coordinator? Can he take that offensive knowledge? Because Kyle will flip his coaches from side to side because he wants them to be able to know both sides in and out. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we're going to be able to get our good friend. Why am I blanking on his name? Former defensive coordinator, John Harbaugh's coordinator. I'm going to try to beat the chat. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. Vic Fangio. Thank you, Joshua. Jeez. The Fange goat, Vic Fangio. Yeah. It's one of those days. It's a Friday. Someone said Tom Sula. I don't know. It's being reported that Fangio might link up with Sean Payton. I don't know. We'll find out. Obviously, Fangio was in training camp this offseason. It's been rumored that he would be a guy to step in and replace D'Amico. So we'll find out. But of course, anything that D'Amico gets at this point, he's definitely deserving of it. So good for him. I think we made it through our updates. I think we did. So is it time? Do we announce our new sponsor for the SF Niners? And I think it is. I think it's time. It's sponsor time. So as you know, we are continuing to grow the SF Niners brand, and as a result, we are continuing to branch out. One of our great sponsors, I think first, there's a lot of sponsors now, especially in the 49ers community for residency. But I will tip my cap and mention that we were the first brand sponsor for residency, and shout out residency. Obviously, they take care of me very well. So residency was our first sponsor. But now also residency is not going anywhere. But with that, we're also expanding. And I don't think this will be the end either. So we are going to be in collaboration and definitely working very closely together. You may have heard of them. I'm not sure, but we are now going to officially be sponsored by this brand, Foco. They sell tons of NFL gear. I mean, they cover all sports, but they sell tons of gear professionally for all types of sports. I mean, and all types of different teams. This is I didn't even see this. This is actually Claire Kittle rocking a Foco sweatshirt or whatever. So this is going to be one of our new brand sponsors for the channel, which is really exciting because they are a legitimate big time brand, big time connected to the NFL. So this is going to be huge for us. And of course, if you guys do want to partake, that it doesn't mean we just have a sponsor. It means we all kind of have a sponsor. So we do have a 10% discount for any of their merch. That if you want to uh, buy some of their goods, and we'll do a little unboxing too because they do crazy dope bobbleheads. Um, so I'll drop the discount code for the squad. So I'll put it down here as on the ticker. So SF10 will be our discount. And so if you want to go over to, foco.com and get your gear, you already know the dang vibes. We got you. Let me even do this. Let me even do this. So this is their website. As you can see, I mean they've got everything. They've got you covered. Uh, MLB, NFL, NBA, NHL, college, entertainment. It doesn't matter. So if you guys want to get geared up with any of your teams, you already know the vibes. You can go here, and of course, they've got they got really good bobbleheads as well. So you already know the dang vibes. Um, you love to see it. Shout out brand sponsor Foco. Something tells me I'm going to slip up and it's going to sound like a swear word every once in a while. But shout out to Foco for linking with the SF Niners. And hey, we got a new brand sponsor. I actually and these bobbleheads, I have a big ass head. So just for size reference, like this is a large noggin. This, like, I wear like 7 and like 5/8 fitted caps, like for dome reference. Sometimes 8 with the hair. So I got a dome on me. So you can see, like, these things are big. I actually haven't opened it yet. So why not? Huh? Let's do a little unboxing, huh? Hold on with me. Hold on. Bear with me. Oh, it's in there good. It's in there hella good. Oh my gosh. I guarantee you this thing ain't showing up damaged. I don't want to break the box. That's the other part of it. I'm not trying to break the box. So we're going to do a little backdoor action. Backdoor action's not working either. Oh yeah, the backdoor. There we go. Backdoor action. The backdoor action did it. All right. Moment of truth. Let's see what we got. Oh. See, look at that. Well packaged and everything. As I am covered in styrofoam. What do we got? Whoo! Has he got a neck roll? Oh, makes sense. Even the head is protected with foam, so the bobble doesn't break. But look who we got. Look who the legend is. Hey, this is nice. This is heavy too. Woo! This is the stand for it. I'm not going to hook it up right yet, but you can see focus. Frank Gore, faithful to the Bay. You got the number. Got a little logo on the back. You can see the base unit. I mean, these things are, you got the logo. Oh, it's even, look at that. Number 69 of 476. Nice. They know us well. They know us well over here. Number 69. They love us. They love us over here. So you can see links together. It's got a little T nut. Get it tapped in. So, hey, these guys are legit. These guys are legit. So, shout out. I can't wait. This is going to go on the back wall 100%. So, shout out homies at Foco. New brand sponsor of the San Francisco 49ers. Oh, the chat's a vibe. I love the vibe of this chat. This is right on par with where we're at. Let's go. You already know the dang vibes. What a good time. I'll drop the link in the chat just because if you want to go check them out. Links in the chat. Discount code squad. Appreciate you guys. We're ready to go. Okay. Now that the business has been taken care of, this really is a dope ass bobblehead, though. Like this thing, like this thing damn near weighs 5 pounds. Maybe not, but I mean, you can see the detail. This thing's legit. Legit. All right. That's enough of that. Shout out to the sponsors. We move. All right. Okay. But that's not why we're here, right? We're here because it's Prediction Friday. So, with every Prediction Friday, we have to kind of take a look at this Arizona team and decide that if we think this team is a threat or if we're going to blow them over. Because remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you were a part of Prediction Friday last week, oh boy, we 100 all, and this is all of us. This isn't like we all predicted a blowout of the Raiders, and that did not occur. In fact, it was a little bit of a scary outcome in regards to what we had to experience because, as we know, the 49ers, they drove down the field for the game winner. Robbie missed the game winner in regulation. We lose the coin toss. You get the crazy interception caused by Nick Bosa to Sean Gibson, picks it off and sets Robbie up again for the game winner. So we thought that was going to be a walk in the park, and it wasn't. Love this energy. Joshua says, I don't care. I'm calling it a blowout again. And I think you're right. But let's take a look at it. DeAndre Hopkins will be out. So DeAndre Hopkins will not play. So maybe we see some Robbie Anderson. We'll definitely see Marquise Brown, AJ Green. Greg Dortch is a quality wide receiver, in my opinion. So definitely not of the quality of DeAndre Hopkins. But listen, AJ Green is he's up there. I can't believe he's still playing. It feels wild. I don't know. It feels like AJ Green's been in the league forever. I don't even think he's that old, but just for whatever reason, feels like he's been here forever. But Colt McCoy's not playing. David Blau's going to get the start. James Conner has done well against us, but is that going to be too much of an issue? They're on to their rookie tight end because God, why am I blanking on their former starter? former Philadelphia Eagles Zach Ertz uh, was lost for the year. So, and also you look at this offensive line. I do think the 49ers are going to be able to take advantage of this offensive line. So let's start here. Let's go with defensive player of the game. We wanted Nick Bosa. You know, Nick Bosa's still 2.5 sacks away from breaking the franchise sack record set by Alden Smith at 19.5. So there's still a ways to go. But if there was a team to potentially get that done on, it might be this Arizona Cardinals team because their offense is, I don't think, going to be in a good spot. So, but again, it's we're dealing with how much is Bosa going to play because yes, you want to balance getting him the record, but you also want to balance getting him healthy and good to go for the next game. So let's start here. Let's go. Who is our defensive player of the game? So in the chat, drop who you think the 49ers defensive player of the game is going to be. Is it going to be the defensive line that dominates? You're going to get an Eric Armstead game, Nick Bosa, no Dre Greenlaw. So maybe Fred Warner has one of those nuclear type games. Do we get the secondary who, let's face it, D'Amico Ryans talked about and said, D'Amico Ryans was spicy this week. I think D'Amico Ryans was legitimately pissed off by the performance of that defense, um, and specifically the secondary against the Raiders. And he talked a lot about just playing disciplined football. Eye discipline was one of the main aspects that he spoke about, and how the 49ers have just gotten caught looking in the backfield and not sticking to their keys and their disciplines within the scheme. And as a result, they've been getting beat. So, and that's Hufanga, that's Diamador. At times it can be Charvarius Ward. At times it can be Gibson. At times, no one's safe. So do we get a bounce back game from the secondary? Do we get so again, drop who you think the 49ers defensive player of the game is going to be. Also, give me your bold defensive predictions. Which players are going to put up what kind of stats? And again, we like the specifics here, the specific bold takes, like the like a Diamador Lenore pick 6 or something like that. So drop that in the chat. Let's take a look at what we got. And then after you drop it in the chat, make sure you smash that like button because we're vibing on a Friday. Appreciate y'all. All right, let's take a look. First off, we were going to do defensive player of the game, and you can call out your bold predictions as well along with that. Sean says, I'm calling Nick gets 2 sacks. So 2 sacks ties the franchise record, which is still good. Definitely still good. Boomerat's calling 3. 3 is the magic number, right? So we're going to figure that out. See if Bosa comes away with 3 sacks. Huff needs a rebound game. Hufanga bounce back game. Nick Bosa 3 sacks. I still think we want the 3 sack game. We want to see the 20 piece. So we're willing the Nick Bosa 3 sack game into existence. I like this one even better. Sean saying Bosa with 3 sacks in the first half, because I don't know if Bosa is going to play the entire game. And especially if they start whooping on them early, they're probably going to have a short leash on these guys. If they start taking it to the Cardinals, and listen, you got to balance going for records and making sure you're ready for the playoffs. And Bosa could be one of the first to get pulled. So we'll see how that plays out. We have I like this one from Bubbly too. Um reverse psychology, Brad, Bosa 0 sacks. I like this energy. I like this. I'm okay with this. Um I am absolutely okay with this reverse type energy. 0 sacks for Nick Bosa. I like that energy. Dream Slayer saying Aziz Al Shair, player of the game. Ethan saying Bosa. Uh, Jesus saying Aziz. Oh, okay. I got to talk about this. I don't know if you experience this, Jesus, but whenever I say your name, Siri pops up on my computer. Like only, only your name, and I don't say Siri. Say Jesus, and she pops up. What is that about? That's weird. I don't. That's odd to me, and it's not the first time. It happens quite a bit. It's weird. Anyways, Joshua says, "Huh, silence the haters." Mooney Ward, I could see a big Mooney Ward game for sure. Drake Jackson game, Jimmy Ward, Bosa, Hubanga. Would love to see Hufanga rebound. You know, Hufanga's been, I think, on the wrong side of. He had such a hot start. Definitely has cooled off a little bit. Would like to see one of those kind of signature uh, Hufanga games. Bosa, coming out the cuts with the Flanagan Fouls player of the game. I like that. Aloha Smitty saying comeback game for Hufanga. Brian saying Bosa. Huff playing hero ball. He is a little bit. We just need him to play a little bit more fundamental, and he should be fine. Armstead. Uh, Jason said Armstead is his pick. We haven't had like Armstead has definitely made his impact, but we haven't had that signature, you know, Armstead in the playoffs just destroying guards game. So I could see that as well. Cheyenne says Hubanga, defensive player of the game, but Bosa gets 3 sacks. For Hufanga to get defensive player of the game, but within a game that Bosa gets 3 sacks, Hufanga would have to get like a sack, interception, pick six, and maybe like two PBUs. But I like that energy. I'm all for it. Eric Armstead, player of the game. Drake Jackson, 2 sack type of game. Huff with the pick six and a forced fumble. Drake Jackson, 2 sacks. Lenore interception. Jimmy Ward interception. This does feel like a great opportunity for a defensive bounce back, especially kind of like I was listening to and shout out to Larry Kruger, man. You talk about putting out good content. Larry Kruger pulls these players to the side in the locker room and does like these little one-on-one interviews. And if you ever have an opportunity to watch them, they're on YouTube. Watch them. Like he does, and Larry's one of the best at being able to like interview players and make them feel comfortable and get them to open up a little bit. And man, what? I completely lost my thought process. It's definitely Friday. It's clearly Friday. I believe what I was talking about, I was going to reference an interview he did with Mooney Ward and why something Mooney Ward said that completely escaped my brain. Um, I forget. I forget. I hate it. Damn it. Lost it. I come back to it. I'll bring it up. But I just remember Mooney Ward sent something. Oh, that's what it was. Mooney Ward had said after week 7 against the Chiefs, when everyone, they were playing pretty decent ball. Week 4 against the Rams, they played good against the Panthers, but then they had the Falcons game, and then they had the Chiefs game. Mooney Ward said, we saw what everyone was saying about us, and that kind of pissed us off and kind of refocused us, kind of got us back on track. Um, so I wouldn't be surprised if, maybe this little, clearly D'Amico was pissed off. I'm sure Kyle was pissed off. The fan base was pissed off. A little bit of a gut check for the defense, I think could be a good thing. So let's see how they respond. This definitely could be a game where the 49ers come out and actually have a phenomenal defensive game. And I think that would kind of put everyone's mind at ease too moving forward. So let's see. I would love to see Hufanga have a pick six. Drake is going to be do something nasty. I like a lot. There's a lot of Drake Jackson love. I like that too, especially Drake Jackson responded really well after being inactive. I believe it was against Washington. So maybe we get more of that. Warner interception. Cheyenne says bold prediction. Still calling for. We've been Cheyenne's been calling for that Fred Warner pick six for like a month and a half now. We got to get it before the season ends. If Bosa is good, has a good time, the secondary will get some pick sixes. Meaning Blau is just going to be tossing the rock up to try to get it out of his hands to not give Bosa a sack. Huff gets 9 solo tackles. We get 2 picks, and Warner takes 1 back. Bosa with a sack and a half. That's a good one from Ethan on Facebook. I like that one quite a bit. Huff redeems himself. So I would say, based on the chat, defensive players of the game is going to be like a tie between Drake Jackson and Talanoa Hufanga up until this point. We got Fam checking in Athens, Greece. Let's go. The SF Niners are worldwide, baby. Let's go. Javon Kinlaw, 2-sack game. That would be nice. That would be really nice. Jimmy has a pick six in the second quarter. Eric Armstead and 1.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Aloha Smitty saying Bosa strip sack, Warner picking up fumble and 6 points. Kinlaw fumble recovery for a touchdown. Bosa 2 sacks, 2.5 sacks. I'm assuming from Bosa as well. Bosa gets 3 sacks. Oh, so it's going to be Drake Jackson, Bosa, and Hufanga are the popular votes here in the chat. But we got some Flanagan fouls love. I'll take it. I will take it. Bosa sack, and we get a new sack. Now there's a bold take. We get a new sack celebration. That would be fantastic. Lucy says, I'm sure the Niners defense learned a lot from the Raiders game. Bosa will have 3 sacks. Hufanga 2 picks. Let's go. Let's go. I'm still catching up to the chat, so bear with me. Gibson 2 picks in the third quarter. Diamador Lenore needs to prove himself. Let's see. I haven't eaten today, and I'm gonna blame it on the fact that I haven't eaten as well. That's why my brain keeps escaping me. Okay, so for me, if I had to go defensive player of the game, I want to see Bosa go crazy. I feel like Nick Bosa is going to come into this game absolutely motivated to get as many sacks as quickly as possible. I do think he wants that sack record. I do think he wants to solidify and wrap up Defensive Player of the Year. I think that's an award that he really wants. And so I think Nick Bosa is going to come out with his hair on fire. I think he's going to that's a hungry bear right there. I think there's hunger there for Nick Bosa to come out. JJ Watt on the other side. It's going to be JJ Watt's last game. I think Nick Bosa is going to come out. I'm going to predict that he ties the record. I'm going to predict he has 2 sacks, ties the franchise record, maybe a little reverse juju to get him 2.5 or 3 um, to be able to break it. But I'm going to say 2 sacks for Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa is going to be the player of the game, and they're going to be big time sacks. Pause. And they're going to be Nick Bosa. That's going to be my guy for sure. That's why I'm going with. I'm sticking with it. All right, let's do a quick little glance at the uh, defense for the Cardinals. JJ Watt again. He still looks like he's got it, but it is going to be JJ Watt's last game. So, something that we're going to have to be aware of that literally JJ Watt is going to leave it out all on the field. So I would expect JJ Watt's going to be active. So it's a big test for guys like Brunskill, big test for guys like Burford. And we'll see if he gets kicked out to the edge, but I imagine he does play over the guards. So he's going to be active. I do think that's going to be the case. So it's going to be interesting to see how they manage JJ Watt. But we also know they have pretty athletic linebackers. Isaiah Simmons, Zaven Collins move really well, and all that. They have no Buda Baker, so their arguably best defensive player is not going to be on the field in Buda, so that's a big loss to their secondary. This does look like a group that the 49ers should be able to take care of pretty easily. So, who's going to be the offensive player of the game? Start dropping that in the chat. Who's going to be the offensive player of the game? And what are your bold takes for the 49ers offense? Who's going to shine the brightest for the 49ers offense versus a very suspect Arizona defense? I mean, you saw how well the 49ers played against the Arizona Cardinals in Mexico. So you get Debo back, you get Elijah Mitchell back. So that might even create more opportunities for Brandon Ayuk, who already has built a really good rapport with Brock Purdy. Could even open up more opportunities for George Kittle. CMC will be healthy. Ty Davis Price. I mean, we had our first Jordan Mason touchdown last week. Jawan Jennings maybe gets a little bit more involved, can be a sneaky pick. So who's going to be the offensive player of the game, and what are the bold takes for the 49ers offense? And then once we get to that, you already know the vibes. We're going to get into our score predictions. Not yet. Don't drop the score predictions yet. And I'm very interested to see if we're going to get any reverse juju in the score predictions or if we're leaning in, but not yet. Not just yet. All right. So, offensive player of the game, starting off with that. We'll start off with a hot take. JJ Watt, a 49er next season. That's a pretty hot take. But I don't know if that's going to happen. Chili says he's going to get at least 3 sacks. Hendricks, first one off the bat. Elijah Mitchell is going to be the offensive player of the game. Ethan saying CMC or Purdy. We got 2 Ayuks right back to back. Oh, McGlinchey love. Who would have thought? McGlinchey going to be player of the game. CMC, we've got hard to sack Purdy, tough ass for JJ. Ayuk and McCaffrey, players of the game offensively. Ayuk popping off. Jennings, Mason, 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. That is a pretty damn bold take, especially with Elijah Mitchell returning. Debo getting 3 touchdowns. Matt says, I think one of our running backs not named CMC go off. I do kind of believe that they will use CMC sparingly. I do believe that that is a definitely a big time outcome. Like theoretically, I don't want to see CMC in the second half. I really don't. I would love to see backfield of primarily Elijah Mitchell, Jordan Mason, and TDP. And that would be best case scenario because that means 49ers are winning. They don't need Christian and keep him upright for the playoffs. Mason with 3 touchdowns. That would be fire. I like that one. Burford's going to have a big game. He could very well come out as one of the players of the game, especially if he clamps up JJ Watt. Brandon Ayuk is a badass. Brandon Ayuk with 2 tutties. Ayuk gets his 1K season. Great point. Brandon Ayuk is 44 yards away from that milestone, and he deserves it. So, I mean, the first player to get out of Kyle Shanahan's doghouse and put up a 1,000-yard receiving season just 1 year removed of the doghouse, that would be huge. Tyler Kroft, sneaky player of the game. Jennings, Kittle, Yuck. JP brought. Oh, I never noticed how the 13 together looks like a B. I see what you did there, and I like it. That's actually dope. BA getting 44 for the 1K. We get a Ray return. Ray's been close to busting some big ones. Pause. Ayuk, because he's getting that 1,000 yards. Kittle always kills. AZ. Thinking Purdy going to throw 300. Like, this is also one of the games where I want to see Purdy playing so well that they bring in Josh Johnson. I want a Josh Johnson game. CMC Ayuk gets the 1K. Mason and McGlinchey. And that's a good point. You can't double cover everyone. BA 1K. BA going to get that 1,000-yard season. Purdy with 3 throwing touchdowns, 1 quarterback running touchdown. Burford again, offensive player of the game. Ayuk going to take that secondary to church on Sunday. Trent Williams, 10-yard game-sealing touchdown reception. We're waiting for that. Danny Gray, 2. Yeah, Danny Gray had a big run. J-Tan says, best news I've heard was from Kyle's pastor was that Kalia Davis is made a great impersonalization of JJ Watt in practice this week on the practice squad. I mean, Davis was one of the practice or scout team players of the week. O-line gets the job done. Elijah Mitchell, 100-plus rushing yards and a touchdown. Mason, 2 tuggies. Danny Gray, touchdown. Ayuk, 87 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kittle, 50 yards, tuggy. I think Mason gets a receiving, and we still haven't seen Mason used as a receiver. It's going to be so nice, I promise. McCaffrey, Debo gonna stake Cliff. Oh, he's gonna steal Cliff's chains and get him fired. This definitely might be Cliff Kingsbury's last game, which is again crazy. Ayuk or Mason. Oh, the running back room at this point last year is insanely different. I mean, we got Elijah Mitchell back at the end of the year. I mean, Elijah Mitchell was hurt for a good portion of the season. We got him that Week 17 game against the Texans. But yeah, big time difference. It was Elijah and Jeff Wilson at this point last year. Uh, no Mostert. Trenton Cannon wasn't a factor. Uh, Remember when they were bringing in just running back after running back off the streets? They had Kerryon Johnson in at one point. My dog has decided to burst through into my really just gonna no my dog. Okay. Jordan back on track. Literally squirrel. But dog. Jordan Mason, 2 touchdowns. Mooney Ward, 2 picks. All right, hold on one second. I gotta close my door. Hold on. This is like the most like Friday episode. This is our last regular season prediction Friday. Like we're almost there, guys. It is the last regular season prediction Friday. Can't believe we've made it. Unbelievable. Can't believe we've made it. Juice with 2 touchdowns and 3 catches for 40 yards. Purdy gets the award for tutties passing by halftime. D Hop to the Niners next year. Dwelly touchdown. Ayuk gets 1,000. CMC hasn't had a bye week yet. Yeah, he has. He was on the team for our week 9 bye, so he definitely had a bye. I agree with this. I would love to see Mason like the feature back. That would be dope. JP 2 touchdowns. Trent gets a touchdown. Kittle stays hot 2 touchdowns. Ayuk, Purdy, Kittle, Trent, Debo Ayuk for 100 yards. Juice 1 receiving touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown. Hufanga 1 forced fumble, 1 interception. Juice a touchdown over 50 yards. We've had Germany check in. We've had Athens, Greece check in. Join the Discord. Oh, yeah, that's right. Wayne Gallman. It's a start the year. He didn't even make it that far. I forgot about that, though. My dog gets a touchdown. My dog, offensive player of the game. Facts. Okay, we made it. It's time. All right. I want to see what you guys are cooking up. I want to see what the score predictions are looking like. It is now time for our score predictions because last week we predicted blowout. The entire chat was just blowout. I think we predicted 0 points, 3 points. Does that change or do we feel comfortable going blowout again? Drop your score predictions in the chat. I want to see how we're vibing on this Friday. Right off the bat, 30-13. So I'd consider that a blowout. 34-17, definitely a blowout. 38-0, 100% a blowout. 24-13, a little bit more manageable of a game, right? 33-3, that's a blowout. And I agree with this. We are very blessed that this isn't our last prediction Friday because we are going to be having playoff prediction Friday coming up. Looking forward to that. I already know what your prediction's going to be. 13-13, 42-17, 33-10, 45-6, 31-10, 33-3, 28 to. So we're back. We're on the blowout train, baby. Pern says, I don't care about last week. I left that there 41-9. 38-13. My Island boys saying 31-3. 21-10, more manageable. This one's a little bit more manageable. 27-17, 21-10. Okay. There it is. I think we're undefeated. We might be undefeated. I don't know. Maybe, but we're keeping the trend alive. So I'm here for it. Blowout 25-10, 35-14. Charlene says 35-6. What's this? Alberto says this is the year of 23. We get CMC number 23. Purdy turned 23, and we win the Super Bowl in 2023. 31-6. Oh, well, that's a name. 27-13, 28-12, 31-20. That's definitely more manageable. Just win. Jumping on the train, the trend. 39-5, 35-7, 37-13, 49-7, 34-10. So I would say primarily the chat's feeling like a blowout. Oh, Leo's staying level-headed. He's like, well, we'll do 23-13. We'll keep it manageable. 37-21. 35-3. Josh was like, I don't care about last week. This ain't last week. I'm going 35-0. Cynthia's like, well, after last week, I'm going 27-20. Jay Tan's like, not even reverse psychology. Don't even need reverse psychology. Straight up 37-3, 35-10. 34-3, 24-17. So, we've got 100-0. That's how you know the blowout lives on. SDF's 200, all others zeros. I do need a Snickers. 100%. 100%. 50-0. Oh, we are undefeated. I checked when I first started and it was against the Rams. Okay. We found a little trend here. I like that. Trend. Keep it up. 34-3, 27-7, 28-0 at halftime. Oh, I like this. That makes sense. Final 35-14 with the backups playing third and fourth. That makes sense. And it's like it quantifies like because the final score 35-14, it still seems like a decent win, but the 28-0 at halftime would indicate that it was a lot further of a game of a blowout than would be indicated. Oh, we got a shootout, 42-40. Oh, 49er fans would be pissed at that. 35-10, 24-10, 35-17, 28-3. All right, 42-13, 27-14, 33-13. I hate math, so there's some math. 24-3 at half, 30-10 or 30-17 ending. All right. I'm going to do my score prediction. So, my score prediction is also going to be kind of in line with The thought process of that I do think the backups are going to play, and so I do think the starting defense only allows 3 points. However, I do think my final score prediction is going to be 28-10. So starting defense only gives up 3 points, but the overall score is going to be 28-10. No, 34-10. I lied. The 49ers have been scoring too many points, so I'm going to go 34-10. 34-10, but the starting defense only gives up 3 points. That's my final score prediction. I'm gonna jump in the chat as well. I think the 49ers motorboat the Cardinals out of town. Cliff Kingsbury, I don't know if they motorboat him out of the NFL. I don't know if Cliff gets another head coaching job in the NFL. It's going to be very interesting to see, but I think his time with the Cardinals is over 100%. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to college. We'll see. What if Cliff Kingsbury takes over the Michigan job? I don't know. I have no idea what job he would take, but I do think he'll be out of a job um, after this week. So I do think the 49ers take care of business here. The matchup on paper just it's way worse than what the Raiders offered. At least with the Raiders, they have arguably the best wide receiver in the league. They have arguably the best running back in the league. They definitely have a top 5 tight end in the league. So they have weapons. They have one of the best defensive players in the league. So they have guys. Their whole team isn't built that great. But they had guys like the Cardinals, and of course, Jarrett Stidham played really well. I don't think David Blau is going to pull out a Jarrett Stidham type of game. I just don't think that's going to happen. And I think the 49ers roll and destroy the Cardinals. And we head into the playoffs happy as can be. So we'll see. I think the 49ers are going to win. Do you think the 49ers are going to get the 1 seed? Do you guys think that's going to happen? Do you think because Jalen Hurts was limited all week and he was limited all week and then he's officially questionable. I just realized I missed the super chat. I don't know why seeing the other super chat somehow triggered this super chat that I missed from a long time ago. NorCal Dan says, I know we played at Sierra College like Ayuk. I played baseball, but where did you go to high school? You asked me this question on Wednesday, Dan. But also too, I didn't play at Sierra. The first game I ever started in JUCO was at Sierra. So I played, this is my JUCO helmet. I played at DVC. My first game was on the road at Sierra College where Ayuk played. I think Ayuk played the year after me or like 2 years after me. Like it was, I don't think there was any overlap. But and then I played high school here. But I completely missed that super chat. This super chat is what reminded me. 49ers faithful, Cardinals have 8 players ruled out, including Hopkins. Yeah, the Cardinals are in bad shape. So I think the 49ers take care of business. I don't think it's going to be too big of an issue. They they play their brand of football. The 49ers win this game. I don't think that's too much of a concern here. So I think the 49ers take care of business. All right. We did it! Somehow, some way. Kingsbury to DVC. Let's go. Coach Dar. Hey, Dar wouldn't even want Kingsbury. Dar would be like, nah, scoot out of here. Dar wouldn't want that. But shout out to you guys for rocking with us for our season finale prediction Friday. And of course, it's not our last one, but it's the last of the regular season. After this, it's playoff time. So, we're going to be kicking up into another gear, definitely a different gear. It's going to be playoff time. Regardless of what happens this weekend. So we know that there's more football to be played, and I'm looking forward to it. Can be interesting to see who we get, see what seating we end up with. We need the Giants to pull out a miracle. Please tell me that I need to look at the Giants depth chart real quick. I need to see if there's any fighting chance that the Giants' potential, because it was reported early in the week that the backups will likely play. So maybe no Daniel Jones, maybe no. Okay. So Daniel Jones backup, Tyrod Taylor. Okay. That's good for us because I think Tyrod Taylor is a more than capable backup. I mean, you guys remember Tyrod Taylor was going to be the starter for the Chargers. Then his lung gets punctured. And then it's the what's his name? Justin Herbert show. And we never see Tyrod Taylor again. Tyrod Taylor has an ability. And I agree with Joshua. He has something to prove. And if he gets the opportunity, he has an opportunity to prove that he isn't just a backup and maybe could be a bridge starter or more than just a backup. We'll find out. But I like that Tyrod Taylor's the backup. The backup running backs, if they don't play Saquon, Matt Breida. We know Matt Breida, the cheetah, can get loose. We know Matt Breida very well. Gary Brightwell as well. Not terrible, but we know Breida. Wide receivers. We even know some of their wide receivers. Richie James. We know Richie James Jr. very well. Even Marcus Johnson. Marcus Johnson was in training camp. The whole training camp fight between Ayuk and Fred Warner was over Marcus Johnson because Fred Warner hit Marcus Johnson in the back on a slant, and that's how that whole thing got started. So we know Marcus Johnson. So it'll be interesting to see if they play them. Decent offensive line. No Leonard Williams, no Aziz Al-Jalari. That's tough. Xavier McKinney came back. Landon Collins been playing well for them. It doesn't look like Adoree Jackson's going to play. Looks like they might be kind of hurt on defense. So that might be our Achilles heel if Jalen Hurts plays, is the New York Giants defense. So we want the 1 seed, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Not going to hold my breath for it. Hopefully we get one of those, like, the backup comes in and just plays fantastically because it's his one opportunity. And hopefully Tyrod Taylor can be our champion this weekend. But again, the Giants and Eagles kick off at the same time as our game. So we're going to be pocket watching back and forth But of course, 49ers have to win against the Cardinals. Giants have to beat the Eagles for an opportunity for the 1 seed. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But as always, thank you guys for joining me on this Prediction Friday. Make sure you grab your cookies on your way out. Another long one, but hey, why not? It's Friday. Appreciate you all. Again, we take Saturday off, reset, recharge, regroup, and get ready for game day on Sunday. So looking forward to that. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully you're staying safe. I was told that we were going to get absolutely demolished by a hurricane or something. In my area, we've been okay. Hopefully you guys have been well. In your area, if you're in the Bay Area, I know Santa Cruz has gotten beaten up really bad, Capitola area. So hopefully we're able to make it. I don't think it's supposed to rain. Let me just double check here. The weather forecast for Santa Clara. It's not saying rain. It's saying 60% chance of rain on Saturday, but not seeing it for Sunday. So we might escape it. But appreciate you all. As always, you guys have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great Saturday, and I will see you again on Sunday. Go Niners. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see you.